Hi guys, in this video we would be seeing attaining God. I am Saranya Natarajan here. Man desires of attaining God with a true heart may belong to any caste, creed, country, color, stage of life, section or condition, or maybe a great sinner or of a bad character. He is entitled fully to attain God. An aspirant should have no expectations from the world, which is not everlasting, and he should be never without hope in God, because he is never non-existent. To be content with regard to God and to be dissatisfied with the world is most harmful. Just as a fish without water is absurd, similarly, if we were to get uneasy without God, then there would be no delay in attaining God. On attaining God, there is nothing more to do or to know, and nothing more to get. In that lies the success of human life and its fulfillment. An aspirant must realize that God exists everywhere. Therefore, He is also here. God exists at all the times. Therefore, is present now, right now, here. He exists in all, and as such, exists in self, belongs to all. He therefore is mine also. In attaining God, restlessness brings quicker results than any other thought of spiritual practice. Not having a keen longing in oneself causes delay in the attainment of God. In a game, if a boy is spotted by another, he has to present himself and not to remain hidden anymore. So as God is hidden everywhere, if an aspirant perceives Him everywhere, then God would not be hidden but would reveal Himself. By turning away from all the other sides, an aspirant attains his beloved God within himself. Attainment of God is very easy, not through action but by longing. For attaining Him, if God has bestowed a human form on a man, He has also granted him a full competence and other means along with, so much so that a man could in his life attain God many times. Because of deficiency in the earnest longing, delay occurs in God's attainment, but not because of inadequacy of effort. God's relationships are marked by equality with each caste, community, color, creed, stage of life, section, order. So, wherever one is situated, he can attain God. Having taken refuge in unreality and through unreality to desire achieving reality is a great mistake. For the purpose one receives the human body if it is difficult to achieve that objective. But what is easy? What should be done to see God? One could chant His name, beg of God that I do not forget Him, but that our love for God would increase and then God would appear. So long as there remains the wish to do or to gain anything, till then one does not perceive the eternal God. God's attainment results only after fervent desire. For not having such a desire, the main reason is the wish for enjoyment of worldly pleasure. In this world, whatever godly attainment was achieved by the great saints, the same is available today to all, to this day also. The satisfaction of pleasure is not forever, nor for all, but the attainment of God is open to all and for all the times. In the attainment of God, there is primacy of feelings and not the action. God is not attained by abstention, but by true devotion. In the attainment of God, man importantly needs spiritual feelings and good contact, but not high or mighty. There is primacy of discrimination, feelings, and renunciation of attachment in attaining God, but not so much of action. Where there is a beginning and an end for each act, so how could its fruit be without end? So God is not action-oriented. Keen desire for attaining God creates burning fire of separation, which destroys the sin of unlimited births and enables the attainment of God. The absence of keen desire for God attainment primarily results from worldly pleasure and hopes and enjoyment. Ordinarily, if anything could be equally secured by all, that is God. Expecting God, nothing could normally be acquired by everyone. We cannot achieve anything except God, and whatever else is acquired would go away in nothingness. God can be realized when the following five are not favorable: enjoyment of senses object, sleep, laughter, love of the world, and much talk. An aspirant takes long to achieve God for the reason that he tolerates the separation from God. If this segregation were to have no support, then there is no delay in the achievement of God. So long as there is desire for untruth, its refuge and trust, till then, truth is not perceived. Attachment for God is truly not difficult, but due to lack of arrogant desire, it becomes so. God does not insist on action but demands feelings. By godly feelings, single-minded devotion to God grants His view, but not by action. By cutting off links with temporal things and permanent essence is automatically intuited by the self. Man has a right to attain God. Under every circumstances he can achieve Godhood. It does not take long to attain God, only time in giving up the desire for sensual pleasures. If there is exclusive longing for God, then God would reveal Himself, or if there is no other desire, He would still reveal Himself, but there should be no incompleteness in this. Knowing the truth, or you might not, what you know is untruth, shun it. Then you would remind and attain the truth. To achieve God, man is as much free as in no other work. Not many means are required for attaining God, but inner devotion is essential. God does not differentiate us by caste, color, community, creed, country, or anything. All He wants to do is just meet His devotee. In acquiring wealth, action is dominant, but for achieving God, longing is important. The attainment of God is not a fruit of action, but is one of grace. However, the desire rests with oneself. The world is incomplete and we acquire it as incomplete. God is complete and meets as complete. One who has not attained God, he has done nothing and done nothing. In attaining God, the greatest hindrance is of desire for enjoyment and accumulation of things. By sharing the joy of others, the desire for pleasure is wiped out, and by sharing the unhappiness of others, the craving for accumulation is lost. The world is ever changing, and to trust such a world and accept it as a real is the main impediment to God realization. The attraction for pleasure born of contact is the prime obstacle to the perception of an ever-attained God. In seeking God, things do not overshadow, but the importance of things has created a screen. Acting in selfish interest and accepting one's close link with the like of body and etc., the achievement of God through all pervading is obstructed. God is all pervasive in space, times, and etc. In accepting the world as real, man realizes the distance between himself and the God. No circumstances are factors for the attainment of God, and no circumstances are obstructive in realizing Him, as God is beyond all circumstances. God is not far off, only the pull of desire is weak. The world exists now, and is ours. So by accepting that, God is existing now and is ours. This perception is not possible. An aspirant admits that God exists, but the world does not exist. This he does not acknowledge. It is because of this obstacle arises in attaining God. By accepting the insistence of one path and opposing other paths, there arises great obstructions in fulfillment of our goal. If we attach importance in our heart to anything except God, then the same implicates in God realization. Faith in God is even greater than God. Though God exists always at all places, we do not see Him. But by faith we meet Him. God is consciousness, only our gaze is not there. If we do something, then we will achieve God. This attitude would strengthen our bodily ego. What we gain by action would be impermanent. In renouncing the world, discrimination helps. What assists in God realization is faith. In reality, God is ever existent. The Guru also is. So is the knowledge of the self. In addition are competence and capability in oneself. It is because of the attachment to temporal pleasure there is obstruction to the revelation of God. The body can deal with worldly affairs and render service, but it cannot attain God. After detachment from the body, God's realization can be achieved through the self and to the self. Thanking you for listening till the end. Let all the good things happen in your life in multiples of infinity.